You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I am going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, brilliant soul. Do you notice that you're more likely to define yourself by what you didn't do, more so than what you did do? It's like we have this default setting as humans to keep a tally and an ever-growing record of every single one of our omissions, as if they're the most honest data points about who we are. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't respond to that message. I didn't wake up nearly early enough. I didn't eat healthy enough today. I didn't show up as powerfully as I could have. And yet, what if this orientation toward the absence of things is distorting our perception of ourselves? What if this is the marinade that keeps us suspended in a version of ourselves that feels perpetually behind, lacking, and not good enough? In today's contemplation, I want us to explore how the quality of your life is shaped less by what you failed to do and more by how you metabolize what you did do. When you learn to celebrate your accomplished actions and to savor the goodness embedded in your choices that you've actually made, you allow yourself to step out of the marinade of self-negation and into a self-concept that is capable of expanding your reality in the direction you're wanting to grow. Let us begin with the image of marinade itself. When you marinate something, you immerse it in a mixture long enough so that the flavor permeates every fiber, altering the composition of the meal from the inside out. Over time, the thing being marinated takes on the qualities of what it was steeped in. Most of us are marinating in scarcity and steeping in self-critique. We soak ourselves in comparison and we bathe in a narrative that highlights our deficits. In doing so, we shouldn't feel confused when our life tastes scanty. The marinade is not your circumstances, but the interpretation of your reality that you allow yourself to return to. Let's imagine for a moment that you don't go to the gym one morning, you don't make it there. With neutral thinking, this is just an observable fact of your day, but you tell yourself a story that you're being inconsistent, undisciplined, or unworthy of the body or life that you desire. Now, in contrast, let's consider this same day where you didn't go to the gym, but you notice that you prepared a nourishing breakfast and read a chapter of a book that stretched your thinking, and you took a bath to calm your nervous system and release stored tension. Let's say you also had a conversation that deepened a bond with someone, and you strolled outside for fresh air after dinner. The chances are you are doing more in your day that's serving you than you are allowing yourself to celebrate yourself for. One of these days was marinated in lack thinking, and the other in a mindset of abundance. If you consistently assume that your omissions define you, you will act from the identity of someone who is perpetually falling short. That identity will subtly shape your future behavior and then the way you experience your world. There's a profound difference between behavior and identity. Behavior is case by case, while identity is cumulative. When you say, I didn't go to the gym, you're describing a behavior. When you say, I'm the kind of person who never follows through, you're crystallizing an identity. The former is a single moment, the latter, a marinade. The tragedy is not that you missed the gym. The tragedy is that you used the missed gym session as raw material to reinforce a self-concept that will sabotage you tomorrow. That is, unless you choose a different way of relating to that behavior, and your life. You didn't go to the gym. That's objectively true. But you also took a bath that regulated your nervous system and you chose rest over self punishment. You listened to what your body needed in the moment. You protected your energy instead of overriding it. A bath is not laziness, it's evidence of self attunement. But this all depends on how you choose to relate to it. The bath can be considered as data for someone who values nourishment, just as it can be deemed as something you do when you're lazy or unwell. Which of these do you want to marinate in? I want you to become someone who allows yourself to feel the goodness and deliciousness of your life in every possible moment, rather than falling prey to the habit of dismissing it as insufficient. You get to choose the ingredients of the marinade. You get to decide the flavor of your life. So, what flavor are you going to choose? You're not being asked to abandon your goals. To the contrary, you're being invited to stop weaponizing them against yourself. You can still desire to go to the gym tomorrow. You can still want to build the business, to deepen your relationships, to refine your skills. But choose a marinade from which you are choosing to take these actions from. When you savor your bath, when you acknowledge your nourishing breakfast, when you recognize the depth of the conversations that you get the privilege of having, you are gathering evidence showing you where you're already aligned with who you're growing into. So many of us are trying to build fulfilling lives while marinating in self rejection. And I'm sure you can see clearly how impossible this recipe is to the creation of success. So today, brilliant soul, I want to invite you into a subtle experiment. At the end of the day, instead of asking, "What didn't I get done today?" ask yourself, "What did I choose today that I trust has put me firmly in my right direction? What did I do that reflects the person I am choosing to become?" You are allowed to choose a different marinade. And from that choice, everything can taste more delicious than you have ever known. Until next time.